More than 200 Nepalese living in all nooks and corners of the world assembled in Kathmandu for the first non-resident Nepali conference held on 11th to 14th of October 2003. The conference was organized with the objective of increasing the sentimental and economic attachment of Nepalese living outside of Nepal with a spectacular success. The organizers, His Majesty's Government of Nepal, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Federation of Nepalese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Non-Resident Nepali International Coordination Committee had done a tremendous job in mobilizing the Nepali community all over the world for their participation. Promotion of Nepali culture and heritage, as well as the potential contribution of Nepalese living abroad in the socio-economic development of Nepal, dominated the discussions and deliberations. Welcoming the delegates, Honorable Finance Minister Dr. Prakash Chandra Lohani indicated to formulate policies, rules to facilitate NRNs both in Nepal and in other countries of their residence, and thus enable them to become a driving force towards economic and national prosperity. His Majesty King Gyanendra Bir Bikram Shahadev inaugurated the conference in a grandiose ceremony organized in the Birendra International Convention Center, a landmark of Kathmandu city, by lighting the auspicious panas. Queen Komal Rajya Lakshmi Devi Shaha also graced the occasion. Mr. Surya Faidya, coordinator of NRN Conference Working Committee, presenting the conference highlights, pointed out that Nepalese living abroad have been playing an important role in the country's economy through remittance, and also reminded everyone that we are Nepalese regardless of our location in the globe. The conference was meant to reinforce it more. Dr. Upendra Mohato, Chairman of NRN ICC, putting up the NRN perspective, stated the current policies and laws were acting as barriers for NRN investment in Nepal, and that the conference would play an important role in creating a conducive environment for investment for NRNs through policies and legislations. He also expressed the willingness of the NRN community to be involved in the socio-economic development of the motherland. Right Honorable Prime Minister Surya Badu Thapa, speaking on the occasion, stressed on building partnership with the Nepali community abroad. He expressed His Majesty's commitment to create a conducive atmosphere for the NRNs to be involved in the development of the motherland. Seven prominent achievers from the NRN community were honored at the ceremony. His Majesty magnanimously presented them with a symbolic plaque. Proposing the vote of thanks and expressing the gratitude to His Majesty for magnanimously inaugurating the ceremony, Mr. Binod Bahadur Shrestha expressed the Nepali business community's willingness to work together with the NRNs in promoting the cause of Nepal.
The plenary session 1 connecting Nepalese for prosperous Nepal was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Bheg Bahadur Thapa, Ambassador at Large. The session highlighted that the trend of Nepalese dispersed around the globe offers Nepal ample opportunities to tap into their talents and resources for economic development through direct investment, technology transfer, and tourism promotion. They, however, stated that the government should officially define the status of NRNs and develop essential legal provisions to take advantage of this resource. They further stated that it was important for the government to bring flexible policies in the banking system and taxation to encourage flow of remittance through formal sources and look into the welfare of Nepalese workforce working in the Middle East and other countries. In the parallel session on tourism, chaired by former Minister Mr. NRN GC, it was pointed out that Nepal's potential as a tourism destination was yet to be exploited. It was felt that promoting existing tourism products and exploring new market opportunities was a must. It was suggested that the NRN could promote Nepal in the international market. NRN could convince their colleagues and friends to visit Nepal. The country could easily get approximately 10,000 or more visitors in a year, it was said. Some of the suggestions put forward by the presenters, panelists and participants on the way forward were: promote Nepali art and culture abroad, improve air network and linkages, review air transport policies of Nepal in context of global principles for liberalization, produce more multilingual brochures and promotional materials, promote tourism in the Middle East, and explore opportunities in Russia. It was concluded that many more opportunities could come by further investment in the tourism sector. In the parallel session on infrastructure, chaired by Mr. Bharat Mohan Adhikari, former finance minister, different issues like labor market flexibility, human resource development in Nepal, and infrastructure opportunities in Nepal were deliberated in length. The need for the amendment of Labour Act 2048 to bring labour market flexibility and develop skilled manpower by providing demand-oriented training and development of qualified instructors and skill testing system for the certification was pointed out. With a lot of investment opportunities in infrastructure, it was felt that the NRN could provide technical expertise and market Nepal for foreign investment. It was noted that Nepal would have to have a provision for earning repatriation of NRNs and PNOs if investments were to be encouraged. In the plenary session on Nepal's culture and heritage, chaired by Honorable Minister of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation Mr. Sarvendranath Shukla, it was stressed that the NRN community have shown that they have still preserved the core values of Nepalese culture and heritage in the countries of their residence. The NRN presenters pointed out to the fact that the participation of NRNs in the development of motherland was inevitable because culture binds all Nepalese together irrespective of the place abode. The presenters further added that it was important to maintain the information between NRN communities and keep the culture and heritage alive. The NRNs wanted their offspring to maintain their close links with their roots. The cultural exchange of Nepal with the outside world would help to maintain this link.
A presentation of plans and programs on Pashupati development area was made. During the conference, a cultural program was organized in BICC wherein various renowned artists made some performances.
In the plenary session on policies and legislations, chaired by Honorable Mr. Dr. Prakash Chandra Lohani, Minister of Finance, the focus was on issues related to the legal status of NRNs in Nepal, the rights they could exercise and the duties and responsibilities of NRNs towards Nepal. The session highlighted that there was a need to make provisions for developing and amending laws and policies encourages investments from NRNs and other potential investors. It was stated that NRNs should be treated in a way that could generate benefits for both NRNs and as well as Nepal. It was further added that there should be a clear-cut policy for NRNs regard to property holding rights, inheritance rights and exit policy. The need for a clear exit mechanism was strongly felt. The speaker strongly urged the government to improve the investment climate so that the FDI could be encouraged in light of Nepal's entry to the WTO. In the session on hydropower chaired by Dr. Bimal Prasad Koirala, Chief Secretary, His Majesty's Government of Nepal, the speakers expressed the view that the huge water resource presented immense investment opportunities for both domestic and international investors. In order to tap the market opportunities, the session was informed that the government had already taken concrete steps to promote private sector investment through the new Hydropower Policy 2001, setting up of Power Development Fund, provision for foreign exchange repatriation according to the Power Purchase Agreement and other encouraging legal provisions. The NRN could be involved in harvesting the water resource potentials not only by investing or encouraging others to invest, but by helping in bringing the expertise in harvesting such resources. The session on Information and Communication Technology was chaired by His Excellency Mr. Rameshananda Vaidya, Royal Nepalese Ambassador Designate. The tremendous scope for private sector investment in the telecommunication sector was discussed in the session. The speakers also shed light on how ICT has changed the way of life of people in Nepal and how it could be used for development of the country. Talking on the potentials of wireless technology in ICT, given the context of difficult geographical terrain of Nepal, it was pointed out that wireless technology could help avoid the cost of digging trenches and incurring high cost in maintaining the cable network promoted by Nepalese, called upon the NRNs to invest in this sector. Drawing on success stories, ICT companies promoted by Nepalese, the session stressed that Nepal has limitless opportunities in the ICT sector. The session on linking Nepali business to the global economy, chaired by Honorable Mr. Ram Sharan Mahat, former Minister of Finance, discussed the Nepal's liberalization policy which allowed Nepal to capitalize on extending its trade and economic access. In the meeting, it was stressed that the FNCCI has been continuously working on various constraints, varying policy-level issues to operational-level issues. It was also felt that Nepal's entry to WTO was a landmark step. Speakers stated that the SMEs were the vertebral backbone of a dynamic, competitive liberal economy. It was pointed out that Nepal held comparative advantage in some areas including tourism, hydropower and certain segments of agriculture and manpower development which needed to be further encouraged.
The closing ceremony of 4-day first non-resident Nepali conference was held in the scenic location of Lee Meridian, Gokarna Forest Golf Resort. The chief guest for the closing session was Honorable Mr. Surya Babu Thapa, Prime Minister, and was chaired by Finance Minister Dr. Prakash Chandra Lohani. Vinod Bahadur Shrestha, President of FNCCI, welcoming the delegates to the closing session, hailed the conference as a big success. He informed the auspicious gathering that the conference was participated by over 200 NRNs and PNOs from 25 countries and over 300 resident Nepalese. Mr. Yogendra Shakya, coordinator of the team moderators of the conference session steering committee, presented the summary of the deliberations in the 4-day first non-resident Nepali conference. Dr. Upendra Mahoto, chairman of NRN ICC, expressed his gratitude to the government for making such significant announcements and stated that these moves by the government added further responsibility on the NRNs and PNOs. He further informed such conference would be held once in every 2 years. A memorandum of understanding was signed between the FNCCI and Non-Resident Nepali Association to establish a NRN division in FNCCI. Chief guest Honorable Mr. Suryabal Thapa, Prime Minister, addressing the ceremony made the commitment to formulate separate laws for NRNs and PNOs within 4 months that would give legal definition to the NRNs and PNOs for the first time in the history of Nepal. He further assured that the government would develop policies that would enable Nepalese living abroad to make investments in Nepal and pave a way for them to keep coming back. Speaking from the chair, Finance Minister Lohani informed the NRNs that investment procedures of Nepal would be simplified involving the private sector to meet the expectations of the Nepalese residing abroad as demanded by the NRNs. He further assured that His Majesty's government would recognize investments from NRNs and PNOs as foreign investment, there would be no double taxation on their earnings and allow repatriation of profits. He further stated that the rules will be changed to allow NRNs to invest in the capital market and transfer money to Nepal as an individual or an institution through proper banking channel. Mr. Badri Prasad Oja, Member Secretary of the High Level Committee and Director General of FNCCI, while delivering his vote of thanks, thanked the NRNs participating in the conference for the very positive response. He also briefed about the role of various organizations and individuals contributing to the organization of the conference. Mr. Suraj Vaidya, coordinator of the working group of the organizing committee, while reporting on the conference, highlighted on the fact of overwhelming response from the NRN community and the people in Nepal.